what's up, you guys? You are watching the Mary Mac Show. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at I am Mary Mac 5280. We got my friend here. He's the author of a new book. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
My name is Cordell Pratt. I have a new book out called Money, Laws, and Principles. And I also have a book coming out in about 3 weeks called A Lady with Game. My publishing company is called Checkmate ENT. You can like me on Facebook, Checkmate ENT, Instagram, Checkmate Enterprise, and also my email, checkmate at gmail.com.
All right. And I'm super duper excited to have you on my show. And again, y'all, we got a new book out, and make sure you guys go on Amazon to check that out. And do you want to tell us a little bit about the book?
Yes, Money, Laws, and Principles. It's about two friends that come up with an organization, a drug organization, and they start making a lot of money. And then after they start making so much money, it's like they start having problems with each other. Like one person's cheating the other person, and they're going through these problems, and basically it destroys their friendship. So that's what the book is about. The book is about, based off of Colorado, Montbello, Aurora, Green Valley Ranch, Colfax. It's just showing how the drug gang goes out here, how money can destroy friendships and family.
No, yeah, absolutely, absolutely, man. And what inspired you to really conquer writing this book? Because how long did it take?
Well, it took me about 5 months to write this book.
Oh.
But this ain't my first book I ever wrote. This is just the first book I ever published.
Okay.
What inspired me to write this book is I ended up getting locked up when I got out of the penitentiary. I got locked up again for like 6 months, and that's how I spent my time before, was writing. So I had a situation that I was going through with a friend, so I just turned it into a story. It's not a real story. It's fiction, but it's just based off of something I was going through at a time. So I made it a story. It took about 5 months. Basically, I almost just freestyled the whole story. I didn't really outline it. I just sat there and I just wrote.
Yeah, that's dope. What advice would you give to somebody that's, trying to write a book?
My advice is just come with an idea and just sit down and just write. Don't be worried about, am I writing it right or this, that, and the other. Just sit down and just write. Just write it out. And after you're done, then you can get it edited. Then I have to have more description, or I need to describe more things. I need to have people relate to my character more. So just sit down and just write your story. Don't be too focused on, am I writing it right? Don't be too focused on ideas. Everybody got a story to tell. You hear a story every day. People gossip. People say what's going on in their life. We tell stories every day, but it's just different. We just put it on paper.
Absolutely. So, what is your writing process like?
My writing process, well, basically, I just take events that I've been through. Like my first book is called Checkmate the Game. And Checkmate the Game is basically about two friends that come up with a synthetic drug that nobody else came up with. And they start selling the drug, and they start making a lot of money, and Gideon's whole plan is to get out the game.
Mm-hmm.
And they start going through a lot of situations. Checkmate the game means that they in the game, but they trying to make it out. You know what I'm saying? Without getting caught or without getting killed. So,
Sounds like a movie.
Yeah, like when I write, I can see it.
Yeah.
I visualize it. I really can see it. So I write it like a movie. So I really can visualize it. So basically, my writing process, I just take an event from my life that I went through, and I just make it a fictional story. You know what I'm saying? Everybody I probably bump shoulders with or whatever, I take a little bit of everybody and I put it in one character. You know what I'm saying? So, then A Lady with Game. Basically, the Checkmate series is checkmate the game, a lady with game, and my game is smooth. Sometimes I just take characters from books and I make their own book.
I like that. I like that a lot. And I like how it's like a series, you know, like not just one story, because we want to know like about the other people, whatever, you know, like the history and stuff like that. So I like how creative you went with that.
Yeah, I try to make everybody kind of connect with the character. So when I introduce a character, it's like a summary of their life or who they is and everything. So you really connect to that character. And that's why people be like, man, make a book about that character, because they connect with them inside the book.
Absolutely. Do you have anybody you want to give any shout outs to?
I want to give a shout out first to the artist that drew the covers of my book, Robo. I met him in the county, and he drew the covers of each one of my books. He didn't really think I was going to get out and really, you know, turn them into books, but I did. Shout out to him. Shout out to the Lord, you know, for waking me up every day to be able to, you know, publish books and with imagination. I'd like to thank my mom, you know, for being on my tail every time and telling me, pushing me, telling me no weight on it. All my friends from Montbello and everybody I've been in prison with and jail with, and everybody that motivated me and taught me some knowledge. Shout out to all y'all.
Absolutely, that's dope, that's dope. So what do you do when a new idea jumps out at you while you're still writing on a book?
What you mean?
Like if you were writing a book and like a new idea comes out, like do you automatically write that down, or do you just remember that thought and then say, oh, I was gonna talk about, you know, that person in the story?
Nah, I just go with the flow. Like if, say I had a plan of writing like this that day, but if a new idea pops in my head, I'm writing it down. I'm going with the flow of the book. You know what I'm saying? It's world building. You know, it's once you come up with the characters and you come up with a theme, basically, the story's writing itself.
Yeah.
The story's writing itself. They have their own personality. You know how they gonna act. You know what they gonna do. You know, the pen and paper's writing itself, basically. You know, you come up with a new idea you might have had, like, I'm gonna go this way, and you go totally opposite direction. Like,
I like how you said you just freestyle it instead of like trying to do like the plot, that like have the whole, like how we were taught in school. Like it almost seems like that seems.
You mess up your whole imagination.
You know what I mean? Instead of trying to.
Because you're just too focused on, you're too focused on outlining and trying to write a perfect book. The most important thing is your imagination.
I like that.
The most important thing is the world building. You know, there's certain times you do outline. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm gonna outline the characters, but most of the time I go a different direction once I start writing, because I'm really in that world. You know, I really started writing like that in prison because I wanted something that's going to take me away from what I was seeing. You know,
yeah, absolutely.
You know, so like take me into another world. So that's why it was so easy. I just sit and I just write, and I'd be in a whole nother world.
Yeah, that is so awesome. That's so awesome. And just to be so focused on something, you know, changing as opposed to, you know, whatever got you in that circumstance. So I think that's really awesome and motivational for, you know, people to hear and know that, you know, you can change and, you know, write books and, you know, create, because I think that's very, very important. And as far as like the imagination part goes, like, you know how like Tesla would talk about like using your imagination, and like Disney and Einstein, like if you can see it, it can become tangible, because it's kind of like the universe works off of our imaginations and the things that we think about and attract to us and stuff like that. So I think that's really super dope. And that makes me think about like, what's the name? He won who won the award for writing a book? It was a super gang member. I forgot his name. He got a medal or a...
Oh, are you talking about Tookie Williams?
Yeah, I remember when that happened. Yeah,
I mean,
that was epic too.
There's a couple of gang members that wrote books.
Yeah, he got an award though, like a Lifetime Achievement Award or something like that.
Yeah, he was writing children's books.
Yeah, I think that's still awesome and very motivational.
There's somebody from Hoover, I forgot his name. He wrote a book, Monster Cody. I think he's from A-Tray. He's from A-Tray. He wrote a book. There's a few gang members that wrote books and was very successful. you know. So, you know, you just got to sit down and write your story.
Exactly.
You just got to sit down and write your story.
Are you going to turn those books into stories? Like movies, I meant.
Yeah, that's the next plan for sure. Turn them into movies. I think people like to watch movies more than read.
I like to read better because I feel like there's more detail and description in the book. But if you visualize it, you know, in the movies, but it's always never the same as the book, you know, sometimes it's exactly the same with the extra detail. But sometimes in the books, it'd be like there was more painting the picture in your head as the visual, you know.
I think so too, but I think it's a busy world, so people don't have time to read.
Yeah, absolutely.
They'd rather just sit down and watch the movie. The movie's a little faster than reading a book.
Absolutely. Do you have it on Audible, or are you planning on putting the book on your books on Audible as well, so people can just go and listen to it, and it'll be like your voice reading the book, or if you have somebody to read it for you or something like that? Probably your voice, right?
Yeah. Yes. When I was in prison and when I was reading the book to everybody's like, man, I love it when you read it instead of me reading it, because you know what's going on. You put the, you know, say the voices,
the emphasis,
like, and all that. So, like, people say it's a different read when I read it.
Yep.
They say it's a whole entire different read when I read it. They said we like for you to read it, so I'm gonna do an audio book, and it's a certain way I'm gonna do the audio book that nobody has done. I'm not gonna say right now, but when you listen to it, it's gonna be a very unique audio book.
Already. And did you go through the process of copywriting all of your books and everything?
Yes.
What advice do you have for people on doing that? Like, how important is it to do that?
Don't be scared to ask for information. That's the most important thing. Don't be scared to ask for information, find out the information, and just go from there. You know, when I got out of prison, I had my books, and I had no idea how to publish my books. So I ended up asking one of the homeboys. I was in a halfway house. He had published the book, and he told me everything. I thought I had to buy like 1,000 copies at first. He's like, nah, bro, you could buy 50 copies, 100 copies. They'll put it on Amazon for free. You know, I sent it to Washington, D.C. I think to get it copyrighted was $45.
That's
Man,
awesome.
people say just send it through the mail. No, you want to do everything legit. You want to do everything legit. You know, never be cheap about your dream. So
I know that's right. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, a little more about your background and stuff.
Okay, I'm from Denver, Colorado. I'm an 80s baby. I grew up in Montbello. I think we moved to Montbello like around 90, 91.
Okay, dignity, pride, diversity. Hey.
I went to John Mez, Barney Ford, McGlone, MLK, Montbello. We lived out there probably for like 25 years on Sable Block.
Okay.
You know, I was into playing sports. I played for the Falcons, where we won 4 state championships. We lost 1 game in 4 years. So, you know, playing for the Falcons really showed me teamwork, how to work together as a team to be able to win. So, I shout out to Coach Bray, you know.
That's tight. I was a Falcon cheerleader, so that's tight. That's cool.
Yeah. And then, you know, I went to Montbello, and then that's where it kind of started when I started messing up, you know. Learning.
I would say it's a learning.
Bad things.
I wouldn't say messing up. I just think we all got to learn how life goes, and it's not, there's not a book to certain steps you got to take. It's just, you know, the decisions we make and we learn, and, you know, we try to let other people know, you know, don't do what I did, you know, be better type of thing. So I kind of feel like that's what you're doing with the book and with everything that's going on. So that's like really super motivational. But you said that's where it started in Montbello, where you started.
Yeah, you know, started
getting in trouble.
Getting in trouble, you know what I'm saying? I seen other people having more stuff than me, and then I got introduced into selling drugs. So I was like, man, I kind of don't want to do that, but let me see, you making money, you got $400-500, let me see if I could do that. So I just caught on quick. It was just, I don't know why, but I caught on quick. I always had jobs as a kid, so 13, 14-year-old. I had jobs, Curtis Park, selling candy for Margaret. So I knew what money was. I wasn't new to money, you know what I'm saying? So I was just new to be able to make close to $1,000 like that. $100, $200, buying a pair of shoes, I was used to that. So I guess that's why I caught on real quick. And I think by the time I was 18, I was still in high school, I caught my first case, a dope case, and I called assault on the officer at the same time. So they was really pushing for me to go to prison.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah, I was a kid. I'm a kid in there with grown men. So when they talking about 16 years, I'm like, I'm only 18 years old. Wow,
no.
You know what I'm saying? So fortunately, I beat the case at trial. I got found guilty of the drug charge. I ended up going to boot camp. Everybody's like, man, don't do boot camp. It's not. I loved boot camp. It was an experience for sure. It was an experience. I mean, the first day and the first 30 days, it was hell. They call it Hell Week. It was hard. We started with, I think, 51 people and 17 graduated.
Was that in Denver? Where was that at?
It was all the way in Buena Vista.
Okay. Just a visual of, okay.
Buena Vista's in the mountains.
Okay.
So basically, it's so high up. If you can run 2 miles up there, you can run 4 miles down here.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, whew. Going up to the mountains is up there, so yeah, that's really, really interesting.
So, it taught me discipline and teamwork again. So that's why I'm so much teamwork, because it takes a whole team to win. Not one person, it takes a whole team to win. So basically, that's what I learned at boot camp too. So when I got out, I'm going back to the same neighborhood. I'm going back to the same thing. I don't know nothing else. I'm like 19. So I went back to the same thing, hustling, gang banging, and so I kept on going in and out of prison. By the time I was 27, I thought I wanted to change. I tried to change, working jobs and low budget jobs. I don't got no job training. I don't got no experience.
Yeah.
I got a record. So basically, it just wasn't for me. So when I went back my last time, I said, I got to do something that's me, but I got to change, but I got to do something that I can do. And I was like, man, all this hustling, all this street stuff I did, man, I got to get paid from it some type of way. I didn't do it for nothing.
Absolutely.
So that's why I started writing books, and I got a million different ideas that I'm putting together.
Absolutely. And just so you guys know, we are not trying to, in no way encourage any type of gang affiliation or violence or anything like that. So the viewer discretion is advised for this. We are talking about the book that he wrote. And you guys can check that out on Amazon. This is just a little bit of history on his story and what kind of got him in the position to be able to publish this book and share his experiences with a fictional book, incorporating real life situations and, characters, but not fully promoting, gang violence or anything like that. So just so you guys know. And then I wanted to ask you, what advice do you have for like younger people that's like just now getting in the game, like trying to, kind of go down the same path that you went through? Would you tell them to do the same, to learn, or do something different?
Man, people's gonna do what they're gonna do.
Oh, absolutely.
That is so hard to be able to explain to the young cats that this ain't the life, because everybody wants to make their own decisions, especially when you're young. You go through your whole life, people telling you what to do. It gets tiring. So my thing is, if you're gonna be a gangster or a thug, be an educated one.
There you go.
At least still go to school. At least still go to work. Whatever you do after you handle your business, it's what you do. But at least still go to school. At least still hold a job, and learn from the older cats. Listen to them.
There you go.
You might not do what they say right now, but in the future, you're gonna remember them 5-10 years later and remember what they told you. So always listen. Listen more than you talk. That's why you got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Listen more than you talk.
Exactly. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. And is there anything that you'd like to discuss that we haven't went over, or any new products, events coming up, a book signing event, anything like that coming to mind that you want to share with everybody so that they can be aware that it's coming up?
Well, the soundtrack for Money Laws and Principles should be out in maybe 6 months. I got a couple songs completed. Like I said, A Lady with Game will be out this month in August. Checkmate the Game will be following that in about another 2 months. Money Laws and Principles, I'm almost done writing that. I got about 5 books that's hopefully be released this year. With soundtracks where all of them, Checkmate Clothing should be out in a minute too. Just look on my page, Checkmate Entertainment, for what's up and coming, ENT, Checkmate ENT on Facebook.
And that is CHECKMATE, okay, Enterprise, ENT, when you search that. So make sure you guys are spelling that correctly. And man, it's been such an honor to have you on my show, and I'm so thankful for, your time and patience with me with the whole process with, getting this conducted. And man, this has just been such an honor to be, here with you, and, to motivate, other people, and to maybe inspire some people to share their stories through writing and imagery, stuff like that. So I think that's dope. And the music. So we're going to be doing another interview here soon on the songs for the soundtrack, and, for the music side of things too as well, because, he's a man of many talents here. And I just think it's super duper awesome to be able to, have this interview with you and put you on Roku TV. Make sure you guys search Sparks. It's SPARKX Media on Roku TV, and you guys got to subscribe, and you can find me there, and also on YouTube. Go ahead and look up The Mary Mac Show. It's MAC, like Master the Art of Communication. And, show your support, your love. I'm here. If you guys want to get on the show, go ahead and contact me. You guys can email me or message me, what have you. My email is Mary, MARYS as in Sam, .Montgomery@gmail.com. You guys can email me. I can set up an interview if you guys are not in Colorado, so keep that in mind. We go over pricing, sponsorships, promotions and stuff like that. So if you guys want to get on the show with your business, I'm open to that. I interview all types of, individuals, all type of artists, business people, publishers, authors, so make sure you guys tap in and don't miss out. And yeah, is there anything else that you would like to say or share with, the audience?
I just appreciate you interviewing me today, and everybody have a blessed one. Check out the books, read the books, share them, and like my page, Checkmate ENT on Facebook, Checkmate Enterprise on Instagram.
Alrighty.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you so much for watching, and make sure you guys follow us on social media. Peace.